Hello, welcome to Things I Should Have Already Done, Part 3. In case you haven't watched Part 1 or 2, you don't need to have watched those to watch this one. This is a series of plant chores and plant tending that I should have done weeks, months, or even seasons ago that I am trying to tackle all in one easy breezy quick series. There is going to be a fourth part for larger plants, so we're almost to the end and it's feeling so good to cross all of those things off the list. If you do want to catch up and watch part 1 and 2, I'll make sure to link those down below, and they have their own playlists as well. Before we get into the list of chores we're gonna do today, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is that my Mills Bow wide is empty. I did touch on this on part 2, but long story short, I found spider mites on my Anthurium crystallinum, so I ended up taking everything out, sprayed them all down, gave the cabinet a thorough clean, so that is why it's empty. Okay, let's get into what we're gonna do today. Today is Monstera themed, and it's all the different things on my Monsteras that I have been meaning to do and just haven't done. Of course, I have my list, so what we are going to do is we need to pot up some of the Monstera props. So my original Monstera, I chopped it with you. There's a whole thing on it. I will link it below if you want to catch up, but some of those props need to be potted up. I want to, don't at me, I want to chop my Monstera Aurea. I mentioned in my Monstera collection video that I just can't keep it from browning, and one of the things that I was thinking about was perhaps chopping, propping, and then potting it into pond to see if like that would help with, to regulate like the water intake. If maybe I'm clearly not watering right when it needs it, and maybe that's contributing to the browning. So I'm thinking I'm gonna chop it back quite a bit, have a few props, and we'll see how that goes. And then I want to repot my Monstera Thai Constellation that is still in its original like really dense mix, plus it kind of needs an upsize anyway, but the new leaf did unfurl. It's still like hardening, but I would rather just do it now than keep it going, because that mix is really, it's just, I showed you briefly in the Monstera collection video, it's no good. So that is what we are going to do today. It should be pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but I'm excited about these, and I'm excited to show you some of those Monstera props. There, like I mentioned, there is going to be a part 4, and that's going to handle the larger Monsteras that you also saw in my Monstera video. But yeah, I hope that sounds good to you. Let's get started. I figured we would start light and simple with the Aurea. It should be pretty straightforward to chop it. I want to propagate it in, I know that I did my Monstera Albo in water and it did great, but I think I want to do perlite just for a little bit more stability, since it is a little bit of a chunkier vine, and the leaves are a little bit larger. So yeah, let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Let's do one more look before I chop her. You know, when I was editing my Monstera collection video and I was at the part looking at the Aurea, she actually does look really beautiful. The browning again, I just can't do it. It's gotta stop. So let me back you up just a little bit so you can see, or maybe I will. So I'm thinking this is the last decent leaf. So I was thinking that I would chop right underneath and then just do all individual nodes all the way to the top. This is new, still hardening. The variegation is still burning in. It should be pretty beautiful if it doesn't brown. But yeah, that's what I was thinking, and then maybe hopefully it'll shoot out some more growth from the base also. I mean, can't hurt to try, right? Let's just get it over with, because if I sit here and think about it, I might change my mind. So let's do, this is the leaf do right underneath, which is right here. Can you see? It's done. It's done, it's done. This was a half moon right down here, and look. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Chopping plants is okay. You can cut off the aerial roots, but I find that the plant does shock a little bit. If you do, like, for example, I'm chopping it, and then if I also chop the aerial roots, it's gonna likely shock more than if I just kept them. So yeah, okay, let's get to it, I guess. So this is one. And then I'm gonna leave the top cut as a 2-leaf cutting, and then I'll just remove some of this browning. Such a bummer. So pretty. I'm just, since it's like just brown and kind of crispy, it just kind of comes off. I'll probably cut into this too. But yeah. Why am I feeling sad about this? I don't know. But we're just going to, actually, let me grab some candle wax because I do want to do that. I don't do this candle wax thing every time, but at this point I use whatever kind of candle I have or find close, and it's always been fine. So basically I just dip the wound, the cutting of the plant, right into the candle wax to seal it and hopefully avoid rot or any bacteria getting in there. Hunter says hi. So yeah, I don't know why I'm feeling a little sad that I chopped it. Do you ever feel that way? I guess maybe I'm feeling a little guilty that I was saying like I don't like it, or I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Turns out I kind of do really like it. Lovey is very intrigued. Just trying to get rid of this other brown bit. Hunter, I don't have anything for you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know if you've heard me say that Hunter is really emotional, and yesterday I was blow drying my hair and he kept bringing his ball to me, and my husband kept saying kept calling him away from me, and then I was like blow drying my hair and he kept, or like straightening my hair, and he kept coming to me, and my husband kept doing the same thing, like calling him over, like not letting him be with me. And so last night he was so emotional. He like slept on me all night. It was so cute. Like, how dare you tell me I can't get to her? I'm just removing these brown bits. Ooh, got a little bit of the green there. Because let's face it, they don't look nice. I don't know if this looks better, but at least it's not brown. I'd love to know if you've grown a Monstera Aurea successfully without browning and what your tips are. And follow-up or second question, have you grown Monstera deliciosa in pon And what has been your experience? I mean, I assume it would be completely fine. Like, you know, it's kind of like rooting in perlite sort of thing, but then making that their permanent substrate. And they root nicely in perlite. So, but I am curious to know if you have first-hand experience. I got a little bit more than I wanted to on that one. Looks like someone took like a chomp out of that. Okay, I think I have enough wax. I'm just gonna start with the top cut. I dip it, ooh, the breeze from the fan. I did this with my Monstera Albo that I chopped with you, so if you want to see more in detail about that, I do have that on my channel. Do you see how messy this got, like out of nowhere? Story of my life. I'll be using these little prop cups. I'll place them in here, and I'm gonna use chunky perlite, again, just for more weight reasons, really. Right as I was saying, I didn't want to do this. Otherwise it won't fit. This is just regular water. I'm worried this one in particular is not gonna, oh, it's actually fine. One thing I am a little bit more concerned about is where I am going to put them. I don't think I thought that through. No, I mean, I've known I wanted to do this. I just, I didn't give much thought as to where I'm going to put them. For now, I'm just gonna put them to the side, and by the end of this video, I will have figured out where they're gonna go, and I'll show you. Next, let's do my Monstera Thai. This is the newest leaf. It's still expanding, but oh my gosh, do you see those secondary fenestrations? And the color is just, this has to be one of the prettiest ties I've ever seen. I feel so lucky to have been able to snag her. So yeah, look. It just comes right off. It has some really nice, healthy roots, but this soil just, it's just not it. So I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is just very gently try to remove as much of the soil as I can. I really would prefer to not mess with the root ball, but I'm just concerned if I just like plop and fill. Like this that's connected to the root ball is so much more moisture retentive than my aroid mix I'm going to use. And Thais tend to be pretty prone to root rot, so I would rather get as much off of this as I can. So wish me luck. This is like a sponge plug. So weird. I say weird because it's not like, I don't think that's like, it didn't belong to like creating this plant. Doesn't seem like. Like pillowy fiber. So weird. It feels like fabric is what I meant, not pillowy. I am becoming increasingly more and more concerned about shocking this plant. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna add my though and hope for the best. From what I can see, I'm not losing a lot of roots, but you know, this is, I'm having to manhandle them quite a bit. Yikes. Okay, this is as far as I'm gonna go. I think pretty good considering I'm for sure going to go ahead and sprinkle some mico on it right away. I didn't think I was gonna have to remove the entire, like completely, but that soil is just awful. I had brought either of these, but based on the root ball, I don't think it needs, actually this one might be okay. Yeah, I'll do this pot. I'm gonna be using my aroid mix for this. I can link my recipe. The only difference is instead of doing the coco coir peat, I'm trying out tree fern, just because the coco coir peat tends to like fall to the bottom, whereas the tree fern is a little fluffier, but they do the same thing. And I shouldn't say trying out because it's been quite several months now and I am happy with the tree fern. In case you're curious, this is what it looks like. And because Monstera Thais tend to be crawlers, I'm going to try to pot it as like forward as I can on the pot, if that makes sense. So like, I'm gonna put it this way versus in the center so that it can keep climbing in the direction that it's growing. Here she is. I think she looks really cute. I am second guessing if maybe the pot is too big, but I can see the roots pretty well, so... Oh shoot, I forgot to put more myco as I was placing it in, but I can just sprinkle some on top. I mean, I did add it all over the roots, so it should be okay. You can also add myco to your water if you wanted to, or to your soil mix. I prefer to just kind of add it directly on the roots when I first repot. I know she's still kind of facing in all sorts of directions. I may try to figure something out so that I can pin her this way, but I'm gonna take her in the shower, give her a nice little shower, and then we will water her with my nutrient-rich cocktail, and she's good to go. She's back from the shower. Going to water her with my nutrient-rich cocktail now. And I'm not going to do a lot because she was hydrated, so just, you know, a little something. I mean, she's still facing the wrong direction, but I think that, you know, with time, it'll start facing where we want it to go. Oh my God, you're not gonna believe this. Is this a new growth already? I think there might be another leaf underway. Do you see that? A tiny little green. Oh my gosh, I'll be so surprised in a great way if that is the case. Okay, so she's good to go. Let's move on to potting up some of my Monstera Albo props. The last thing we need to do today. So this is my top cut. I recently, this was a few days ago, yeah. I noticed a little bit of rot in the roots, so I dipped it in hydrogen peroxide, let it sit there for a good half hour probably, and I mean the roots are otherwise really healthy, and I can see a new growth point, but it's not coming out yet, and I think it's because it just probably needs nutrients at this point. It also shot out this massive aerial root, so yeah, we're gonna pot her up also in my aroid mix. I'll have to see the date of when I chopped this elbow. So I'd be curious and interested to know how long this took. We're only gonna pot up 2 of them. Only 2 of them are ready. Or at least they're well rooted, and several of them have nice secondary roots and a nice little root ball going. But only one of them has given me new growth. And only one of the other ones, so we're potting up the one that's giving me new growth, and one of the ones that has a really nice fruit ball has just started to grow the new growth, and then the others I can see an activated growth point but not growing yet. So I would rather, I don't know if this is a mistake or not, but I'd rather wait until I see more growth before I pot them up. But maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should just be potting them up now. I don't know. I think I'm going to use this size. I think it's a 5.5 inch. And honestly, I wouldn't be mad using a smaller one. Let me see if I have a smaller one. I found this. It's not that much smaller, actually. And I know that I could probably get away with the other one, but I would much rather it be tight in the pot than not. It'll also encourage it to push out more leaf growth sooner versus working on filling the pot. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I had also brought a pole to add, like a clear pole, but it might not fit in here, honestly. Maybe, actually, I don't think I'm going to worry about a pole for now, since it's, you know, still hasn't pushed out any new growth or anything. My battery's going to die, so I need to change that. I forgot to use Myco. Oh, she looks so cute. I'm going to water her through with my nutrient-rich cocktail. And I'm gonna let her sit in here for a minute since she is coming from water. She is gonna need a little bit more water than like Mai Tai, for example. So I still don't know if I'm gonna keep her or not. Let me know what you think. I'm for sure keeping the next one. I'll show you her in just a second. This is the last one we're doing today. I showed her to you briefly in my Monstera collection video. So I want to put this one in pawn. It's so highly and beautifully variegated. Like, look at how beautiful all of like these minty and darker greens with the sectoral white. I just really love the way this one's growing. It did lose its original donor leaf, but I mean, look at these two new beautiful leaves, and I can tell there is already another one on the way. So yeah, I was thinking I would try this one in pawn, a little bit of an experiment, kind of what I want to do with the Aurea. So yeah, I'm interested to hear if you had experience with Monsteras in pawn and what that's been like. So I was saying, I don't know that I'm going to keep the top cut. I always assumed that I would, but as I saw this one growing, I always thought that I would keep two of the cuttings, and I assumed the top cut and whichever one is the best mid cut, or like a color that I really like. And I just don't know now that I am going to keep the top cut or not. Let me know what you think. I guess also, like, I assumed that all the mid cuts would kind of grow around like the same-ish, the same time, and they haven't, so I haven't seen any of them. I don't know. I'm not gonna make a decision right now. I will at least wait till another leaf or two come up on the top cut to figure it out, but I'm curious to know what you think I should do. For this one, I'm just gonna use one of these self-watering pots, and I'm doing pawn. Should be pretty easy, straightforward. I'll show you the roots when I get her out. But this is, yeah, this is the last one we're doing today. These are her roots. Not too shabby, huh? And she's growing an aerial root there and this one. So lots of people say not to bury the cutting to avoid rot. I've also seen people say it doesn't matter. For, I don't know, my sanity, I'm not going to bury it. And even in water, like it was only in water like from here down, so I'm just going to leave it out. I decided also I'm not going to add any kind of support for it right now because it's so little. So this is what it'll look like. Kind of hanging out just right on the surface. And this is what it looks like here. She's so cute. I'm thinking I'm going to put her in my Mills Bow Tall cabinet. It'll be like in the top with the strawberry shake and the variegated money tree. I think it's gonna look so cute there. I'm gonna fill up. The pond is still wet from when I rinsed it the other day. It takes forever to dry. Someone on Instagram said that they bake theirs or they put theirs in the oven to dry because it takes so long. So I'm curious to try that and learn more about it. What do you do to dry your pond? I've just been letting it air dry, but it takes forever. Okay. So here she is. Oh my gosh, she is adorable. I can't. I'm so excited to see what the next leaf looks like, and I hope she does really well in here. Okay, so I know that I said by the conclusion of this video I would know where my Aurea cuttings were going, but I still don't. They're hanging out behind me on that console, and I would leave them there, except I don't think they have nearly as much light for what they need. I'm thinking about putting them on top of my Mills Bow Tall for sure. By the time I'm editing this, I will have a spot for them, so I will, I'm saying for sure, but maybe not. So I will include it in here if I have found a spot for them. But this was it for part 3. We did everything we were supposed to do, things that I had been lagging on. Maybe I should also be repotting some of the other cuttings, or potting up some of the other cuttings of my Monstera Albo. But I really feel like I need to see more progress maybe? I don't know. You tell me what your experience has been. We only have one part left of all the things I've been putting off, and it's going to be bigger plants situation, so kind of big project. But I am so excited that we are doing this together and that all of those things are finally being crossed off the list. And if the plants weren't in the perfect situation to thrive during summer, they for sure will be for fall and winter, so that's all that matters. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me a comment down below if you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, I'll try to link anything that I used in the description, and I will see you soon for part 4. Bye.